Let me show you some tips and tricks for Nothing Phone 3a, and we're gonna start with the home screen. In the home screen, we can press and hold our finger in order to find additional options such as customization, widgets, and settings. If you go to customization, then of course you will just go to the home screen settings or the customization settings that we have in the settings, which is pretty easy to find. And in those settings, we can, for example, change the layout to, for example, show or hide the search bar, the Google search bar at the bottom of the screen. We can also show the app names over here, and we can also switch to 5 columns for the grid, so we can fit 5 apps in a single row. Of course, we also have the option to change the colors of the interface or the system, and we also have the icon pack where we can switch from, for example, the Nothing theme to the default Android theme. But not only that, of course, we also have widgets where we can find some of the Nothing widgets over here, but you may be wondering where are app widgets. And all you need to do is simply swipe to the left. Here we have the list of widgets that have been created by apps, and we can easily use them as well. What is cool about widgets over here, and this is another point, is that we have, for example, a widget that allows us sharing a photo with other people. And in order to find it, we need to simply choose photos from the first page. So let's go over here. We have the square and a circle. I'm gonna actually choose the square. I'm gonna press and hold, and I'm gonna drop it, for example, over here. And of course we can tap on the photo. This is a default photo that we have, but of course we can choose a photo from our gallery. So something like this. And the photo by default is in grayscale, but of course we should be able to change that. And in order to do so, we should be able to, let me actually go back. We should be able to go to widget settings over here. And then here we have the grayscale preview, which of course can be disabled. We can also disable the frame as well. So now it looks like this. And if you press and hold your finger on this widget with the photo, as you can see, we have the option to share. And this allows us to share the photo for the widget with your friends. So we can share the content of that widget between different devices. We can get the invitation link and send it to other people. So I believe it is pretty cool that we can actually share widgets with other people and synchronize them. And of course, we also have home settings where we can find the option to, for example, prevent new apps from appearing in the home screen once you install them, for example, from the Play Store. We also have the Google News page that is on the first page, which can also be enabled and disabled. And we have the option to freeze the home screen layout, which allows you to prevent yourself from accidentally moving or removing items from the home screen. There are also widgets in the lock screen as well, so if we go to settings and choose customization, over here we can swipe to the lock screen, and here, for example, we can tap on widgets or we can tap on the lock screen itself in order to find this field over here, tap to add widgets. And we can also expand the area so that you have more space for widgets. And over here we have pretty much the same list of widgets that we have for the home screen from the first page. And besides some basic things like the battery information, etc., we can also add a quick setting to the lock screen. So if I choose this option, and let's say I'm gonna choose 2x1 size, let's press and hold it, and let's drop it here in the middle. And as you can see, now we can choose what should be in this place. So let's say I'm gonna choose glyphs, and if I close it, let's actually go back, there we go. And we're gonna go back, it is saved automatically. Now I don't have to unlock my phone in order to enable or disable glyph lights. So it is pretty cool. Of course, there are multiple different options that we can manage. Feel free to, of course, explore them and set up the lock screen to make it look just as you wish it to look like. Of course, besides that, we also have different clock styles. Unfortunately, we cannot really hide this clock. We cannot change the color, so some features are missing, and it could be great to have them over here. I'm not sure why they didn't consider adding that option. But besides that, we also have the shortcut buttons, which can also be removed. I actually removed them over here. And that is all in terms of the lock screen customization. Going back to the home screen, there are a couple of more things that I think are pretty cool. And some of them are not actually available on other smartphones in other brands. For example, we can press and hold the finger on the app that we have in the home screen, and we can make it larger by either using this arrow over here on the left side. And as you can see now, it takes 2x2 space. Or perhaps we should be able to find No, so I guess this is the only way to actually, oh, there we go. So it can also look like this. So in this case, we have to press enlarge. Of course, you can shrink it again, but I think it's pretty cool that it allows you to create a really unique home screen layout for yourself. And of course, we also have folders. That is pretty normal, but what is not usual is that we can also customize these folders and make them look like a circle or something like this, also a circle, but 3 main apps and some additional ones visible from the home screen. Of course, the grids, which is the default folder for Google Apps when we create the home screen, and also a cover, which is also pretty unusual, that we can simply have an emoji or I don't know, some sort of image or something like that instead of saying apps. And we can of course tap on this icon in order to use one of the emojis. So I believe it is really cool. Lots of personalization options, and I think that is really great. Too bad we don't have really flags, only, well, flags with letters, which is quite inconvenient, but well, you know, it's still pretty great. So we can have something like this in the home screen. In some cases, some widgets can be actually scrolled as well. So if you are wondering, for example, what is this smiley face, it is the screen time, and you can swipe up in order to reveal your current screen time of the specific day. And as you can see here, it looks like this as well. So keep that in mind, that some widgets, especially I believe those nothing widgets, have that unique swipe thing that allows us to access additional information. The app drawer also has some customization options, so all we need to do in order to find these options is to tap on these 3 dots, and we can make the app drawer look more like the one that we have on iOS, or more precisely the app library, which is actually called Smart over here, which right now is in beta. It looks like this, so you can see the resemblance of the app library. We have apps categorized. Unfortunately, there is no way to actually see the list of all apps. We have some mostly used over here. These are, I believe, suggestions, which can also be enabled and disabled over here. So if you disable show app suggestions, so we only have this, which is a pretty cool thing to do. If you, for example, move from Apple devices and you decide to try something new, or in general you like the app library style, the design, then of course you will be happy to use this. For me personally, I think it kind of makes it messy. There should be additional lists like in the app library on iPhones, where we have access to the alphabetical list of apps in some sort of way, or maybe combine these two together. So make it available for users to pretty much switch easily between these two and use both of them at the same time, for example by swiping left and right or something. So pretty good idea, pretty cool that they added something like this, but of course there is still a room for improvement. And also in the app drawer settings, you can hide app icons from the home screen and app screen. So as you can see over here, I have a hidden app, and in order to find the hidden app, we can just swipe to the right like this. So I guess it's not really that hidden, but a pretty cool or pretty unique way to hide apps. If you go to quick settings or the control center, of course we have the flashlight over here, but not only that, we also have the flashlight made with the glyph lights. So you can actually use the LED glyph lights instead of the traditional torch or flashlight. So as you can see, we can use this one or something like this, but unfortunately we cannot use both at the same time, which I think it doesn't really matter that much. It's still cool that we can actually turn on glyph lights and have them enabled as long as we wish them to be on. And you can also assign the glyph light to the power button, or actually the double press of the power button. All you need to do is go to settings. Over here we're gonna scroll down to special features, then go to gestures, and then here we have the double press power button, and we can set it up to torch. We can also tap on torch in order to switch to glyph torch, and now we can double press the power button to toggle glyph lights. Of course, in the settings we can also find settings for glyph lights, and we can find them over here in glyph interface, where we can adjust the brightness of those glyph lights. We can completely turn them off, We can also enable flip to glyph, so it is like a silence mode that can be easily enabled and disabled, which is also indicated with the glyph lights. We have a glyph timer. You can set up a timer for the glyph and you will actually see the progress on the light, which is a pretty good way to utilize LED lights for something more than just, for example, ringtones. And of course, glyph lights can be used for ringtones. By default they are used. Over here we can enable just sound only or the whole thing, the whole package. We can also enable the volume indicator, which will be displayed on LED or the glyph lights as well, which is also pretty cool. However, well, usually when you change the volume you don't really see the back of the phone, so it's just a pretty nice gimmick, but maybe not that useful. And of course we have the music visualization, which allows the glyph interface light to light up and synchronize with the music that is being played through speakers. You don't have to worry, I think you don't have to worry about Bluetooth devices. If you use them, then I'm pretty sure those glyph lights should not be on. And there is also glyph progress, which can be used to synchronize glyph lights with different apps. Unfortunately, the list is very short right now. We can use Uber or Zomato or Calendar. So unfortunately, we cannot pick just any app. The list, like I said, is very short, very limited. But perhaps this is a pretty good start or a pretty good base to create something really cool in the future. If you use 2 accounts for a single app, then it can be a little bit inconvenient if you have to log out and log in all the time, if you need to manually switch between accounts. However, not on this phone, because we have the option to duplicate apps. We can clone the app and we can also set up a password for the app as well. Actually, for any app that we select. So in order to find that, we need to simply go to settings, then over here we're gonna go to apps, and then here we have the cloned apps, which I have already enabled. We can also go to more apps to find something that is not in the suggested list. And this allows you to create a second version of the same app that you already have of the phone. However, all the data, including settings, accounts, and everything else, will be separated. So it pretty much is like a separate app, but of course just another version of it, another clone per se. So besides that, if you want to protect the privacy of your app, if you don't want someone else to accidentally open the app, then of course you can also use the app locker, which uses the same password and biometrics that you have for the lock screen, but it's still pretty cool way to, or pretty useful way to lock the access, for example, of the cloned version. So for example, over here I have the second WhatsApp, I can lock it, and if I try to open it, I need to verify my identity, which is really nice. This phone also has always on display, which I think, if I remember correctly, is not enabled by default, and it's actually quite tricky to find because it's not really that obvious. So in order to find it, we need to go to settings, choose lock screen, and then scroll all the way down. And over here you may not notice that it says always on display, but the option itself says always show basic info of lock screen, which, well, in my case at least, I didn't get it for the first time once I read it. But if you go over here, if you select that option, then of course we have always on display actually, and this is how we can enable or disable always on display. There's also the option that allows you to schedule AOD and also choose to tap to show. In some cases, the status bar can be overwhelmed. There might be too much information going on at the same time, but thankfully we can actually customize the status bar, and all we need to do is go to display settings, and then over here we have status bar, and we can decide what should be visible and what should not be there. For example, I don't really need the Bluetooth icon to be visible in the status bar over here if I'm connected to my Bluetooth device, so I can hide it like this. Same goes with VPN. Do not disturb is pretty important. Earphones, not really. Some VO things, I don't really need them as well. Screencast as well, I don't even use it. And as you can see, we can make a little bit space for more information that we can think is definitely more important, because if we have too much information over here on the status bar, not everything will be displayed, unfortunately. There is also an option that is called Power of Verify, which is a tool or a security measurement that this allows the phone to be locked without entering the screen lock password. So let's say the worst case scenario, your phone got stolen or you just lost it and someone finds it and you don't want them to turn off because you, for example, use Find My Device or any other thing that allows you to locate the phone in the future in case you lose it. So in order to prevent from turning off the phone, you can use Power Off Verify, and every time you try to power off the phone, you will have to enter the screen lock password. So in order to turn it on, we can go to Settings, then choose Security and Privacy. Then we want to go to More Security and Privacy, and here we should be able to find Power Off Verify. So there we go. When our device is locked, you will need to use your password to power off or restart. So consider turning it on. In the settings, we can also scroll all the way down to find special features where we have some things that for some reason are hidden over here. For example, in gestures, we have the navigation mode. By default, we use the gesture navigation, but if you prefer to use those 3 buttons at the bottom of the screen, then of course you can do that over here. We can also change the order in the case of buttons, and gesture navigation also has some of the additional options. Not only that, we can also find the screenshot gesture where we can enable the 3-finger swipe. We can simply swipe from the top towards the bottom to capture the full screenshot, or you can press and hold your finger, or 3 fingers actually, on the screen and then scroll down to capture a selected area only. There's also the aforementioned double press power button, which not only for torch, but it can also be assigned to something else, like for example for an app. Then there is the one-handed mode, which can be of course useful for some people, but essentially it is worth checking out those gestures. And besides that, we have experimental features where we can enable those this font over here for setting titles. We have the RAM booster, the pop-up view gesture, which is I think only available if you use gesture navigation. I can't figure it out when using the buttons. And the game mode settings, so if you play games on your phone, then you might want to check this option out as well. And that is pretty much everything that I wanted to show you. If you're all looking for some tutorials for Nothing Phone 3a, then be sure to check out my channel. If you found some other interesting tips or tricks, let us know in the comments, share them with everyone, so of course everyone can utilize the phone to the max. And thanks for watching, leave a like and subscribe to my channel, and see you in my next videos. Bye!